Given an equation for a hyperbola, write the asymptotes and graph the equation. Okay, so they're giving us an equation of a hyperbola right here. So it's got the minus in the middle. That means it's a hyperbola, not an ellipse. Ellipse would have plus in the middle. So this is hyperbola. And we have in the front y. So that means the branches are going to go up and down rather than right and left. Whatever's in the front tells you the direction. If x is in the front, the branches go right, left. If y is in the front, the branches go up, down. Now, very important is to get the center. So what is going to be the center? Remember how the center, it's always opposite of the numbers in the parentheses next to x and y. So opposite of -4 plus 4. X has to come first, right? I grabbed this one first. And then y, opposite of +3, -3. So the center must be +4 -3. Let me see if I can go there. So +4 -3 right there must be the center of the box and the hyperbola branches. So there's the center. Now from there, let's figure out what we need to do. Whatever's underneath x, we'll rewrite this as 2 squared and 5 squared. Whatever's underneath x is right, left, because x is right, left. So that's 5 to the right and left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. Right and left 5, and whatever's underneath y is up, down, so up and down 2. So up 2, let me erase this right here, and down 2. So there's our box. Let's put in the box. So we've got the box. See how I found that? I started with the center, opposite, and whatever's underneath x is right, left. You know, that's squared, and whatever squared is under y is up, down from the center of the box. We've got the box, and now we got to fill in the diagonals. You know, those are important. So from the middle through the 4 corners. So from the middle, from the center, through the corners and beyond. So we just keep going like that, and then the other corners, and the other corner. So that box is super important. It shows us where the asymptote lines go from the center of the box through the 4 corners of the box. Okay, now we want to figure out the graph. So the branches, what did we decide? Up and down or right and left? Because y is in the front, the branches go up and down. So starting from the middle of the top, the branches are going to be wide. How do we know? Because they always go really close to the asymptote lines. Remember, the asymptote lines are guidelines for the branches. So we're only seeing part of this. This graph would go on, up and down, and right and left forever. That's just the beginning of the branches. So there's generally the graph. And now they want us to come up with the asymptote lines. Let me go back here. They specifically want us the positive and the negative slope asymptote lines. In other words, what they want, if I kept this line going and this line going, they want the equation of this line. Let's put it right here. They want the equation of this asymptote line. How do you find the equation of an asymptote line? Well, let me give you a nice, easy way to do it. Remember, it's going to be y. Remember the equations of lines are y equals mx plus b. That's generally how you come up with the equation of any line. Y equals mx plus b. For now, let's get rid of the b. I'll explain later. For now, let's just do the m. And what is the m? It's the slope, right? This is always slope, which is rise over run. So what do you think? What's going to be the rise and the run? Well, remember, this asymptote line from here, let's just go to the corner. it rises right here. This is the rise. What was that? Well, that was how far from the middle to the top of the box. Where do we find that? Under y, right? Whatever number's under y squared, that is, that's how far up or down. So that's the rise has got to be the number under y, because y is up and down. And what about here? What is this run? Well, that's how far from the middle to the edge of the box. That's what's underneath x. That's right, left. So you see how easy, we're not quite done, we have just a couple, but that's 90% of it is right there, that easy. The rise and run, the slope of the asymptote line has to be whatever's underneath y for the rise, because that's up, and x for the run. That's how far up from the middle of the box and how far over from the middle of the box. That's your rise and your run. Now, the real truth is one of these lines goes up to the right, or this whole line is going up to the right, positive slope. The other line is going, let me do a different color here, is going down to the right. There's two lines. One's going down to the right. This one is a negative sloped asymptote line. The other one's going up to the right and it's positive slope. So we just throw a plus and a minus in front of it. There's actually, well, let me be just a little more, well, no, that's good. It's plus or minus, right? One's up, one's down. Same slope, though. They both are in the same box with the same rise and run. It's just one is positive and one is negative. Let me just back this up a little bit. It's y equals plus or minus 2/5 x. Now, there's one thing wrong with this. One small, quick change we have to make. And that is the fact that that would be true. This would be true if it was centered at the origin. If this whole hyperbola, the center of the box, the center of the hyperbola was the origin, this would be true. But we have to shift this now. It's not centered at the origin. The center is way over here. This is the new center. It's not 0, 0. It's way over there, which is what? 4, -3. How did we come up with that? Because of this, right? That's the new center. In other words, and what made that happen? Why is there a new center? There is a new center because up here, if you look at what's next to y and x, there were numbers next to x and y that shifted the center. If this had just been plain y squared and plain x squared, the center would have just been 0, 0. But it wasn't, so that shifted the center. Well, then that's easy. You just grab exactly this, and in the place of y, you just put y plus 3. You just put whatever's in the equation. That'll do the shift for you. And then you have you have everything you had before with the plus or minus 2/5, and then you go, and then what was the x shift? X minus 4. Do you see that? This is for the center moved. This is for the movement on the center. The new center has been moved. So we don't have plain y, we have y plus 3. That was right in the formula. We don't have plain x in the formula, we have x minus 4. So you just change your asymptote equations to be y plus 3 and x minus 4. That shifts it. That shifts the center from here to there. It moves the center, right? Because y plus 3, remember it's opposite. It moves it down 3, and x minus 4, the opposite, moves it right 4. That moves the center of those two asymptote lines automatically for you. Now, one last step. They want y alone in this equation. So just subtract 3 from both sides. Boom. And now we've got it. Y equals plus or minus 2/5 x minus 4 minus 3. That gets y alone. Those are the two equations they want. In other words, right here they want the positive one. So they want y equals positive 2/5 x minus 4 minus 3. And here they want y equals minus 2/5 x minus 4 minus 3. Those are the two answers. Just as easy as that. Does that make sense? let's go do the graph. Let me make sure the graphing is really clear for you. When we do this graphing, we have to choose the hyperbola maker, then we have to click right here on the center dot and then the upper right hand corner of the box. So I'm going to go do it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Just a second here, I want you to see what we're going to do before we do it. So we have to click again, we have to choose the hyperbola graph making tool, and then we have to click 2 spots. Click on the center of the box and the upper right hand corner of the box. That makes the box, the asymptote lines, puts the branches in there, it's all done. You got to choose the hyperbola tool with the branches going up and down, I should say. And then click the center of the box in the upper right hand corner. What's the center of the box? The center is 4 over 4 down 3. And then from that center, we have to go right, whatever's underneath X, 5, and up to the other blue dot, whatever's underneath Y, 2. Right 5, up 2. So we'll start with the center, 4, negative 3. Let's go see it. 4, negative 3. So here it is, as you can see it. I'm going to choose down there in the bottom. See the 2 choices I have? I'm playing with those down there. I want the one going up and down because we have branches going up and down because Y is in the front. The center is over 4 down 3, so I'm going to choose that spot first. There we go. I just hit over 4 down 3 with the red dot. That's going to be the center. And then from that center, from that red dot, I'm going to go right 5, because that's what's underneath X, is 25, which is 5 squared. Right 5, and what's under Y? 4, which is 2 squared. Right 5, up 2. Right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1, 2. Right there. See how I went right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 2. That made the box, the asymptote lines, the branches are going up and down. That's it. That's beautiful. And I want you to see that we did. I'm going to show the answer for the 2 asymptote lines. See how they're exactly what we had. Plus and minus 2/5, x minus 4 minus 3, like that. There's the asymptote line equations, and there's the graph.